And I think we're there. Oh god, I need to mute everything here. It's not even my stream and we're having good moments. Sounds great.
Well, it wouldn't be a proper Merforia stream without some goon moments going on.
That's true. That's true.
I don't see the stream live yet.
Oh, I see it live. Anyways, hello, and welcome. Welcome to RE7 New Game Plus Easy. We are here today with Nyx Issues and Chase. Hello, everyone. I was gonna say, I think they're gonna get started here pretty shortly.
Awesome.
Ooh, let's see.
There we go. All right.
You guys excited? Alrighty, so, I was gonna say, we didn't do introductions. My name is Marforia, and...
Sorry about that. And I'm ShadowGuild316.
Welcome, everyone. So, yes, the race has now started. So, I was going to say, we have Nyx Issues and Chase both running on, I was going to say, I think they both are running on Zero D. And so they just started. We're now here at our lovely Hey Baby cutscene, which is, I would say, everyone's favorite, right? Is this your favorite
Probably,
one, Chad?
it's. I would think it's the most, at least the most memed about.
Cop scene's the best. I was gonna say, I'd say, I don't know, any scene with Jack is definitely the best, but cop scene's up there. It's definitely up there.
I would have to say my favorite scene would be Jack 3 Death, just because it took me forever to figure that strat out.
It's actually super satisfying when you hit that strat too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so I was gonna say, here at the beginning of this run, we have to watch this awesome cutscene that takes, like, I'm gonna say, like 2 to 3 minutes. You get to hear a little bit of backstory on why why this whole thing isn't happening. You have Ethan coming after his wife Mia, who's been missing for 3 years, and like the smart human that he is, he decides to come to middle of nowhere Louisiana by himself in a fancy sports car. So we'll get here to the beginning part of this run where we have to go through a small little forest to get to guest house, which is, I'd say some of the most exciting parts of this run. What do you think, Gil?
Oh, absolutely. Sitting here watching cutscenes is always a blast.
Yeah, one thing about this run, you cannot skip any cutscenes in this game, but it's actually it's kind of a blessing in disguise, because we can have dedicated snack breaks and bathroom breaks. That's usually what I tell folks here.
Actually, to correct you, there is only one skippable cutscene, and it's I think it's ship, right?
Yeah, it's that part there at after the ship. So now they're making their way here through the little wooded area here. I was gonna say, mostly movement based. You want to try and get through here as quickly as possible, taking tight turns and not getting caught up in little edges and stuff like that.
Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that accept her gift sign was always like a super Monka's moment.
Yeah, especially the movement here is pretty important as well, because there's several things you can't see, because we're not looking at them. But there's several things you can't see that you can get caught up on branches and low-lying, the roots of the trees and stuff like that. You can get caught on, as well as this fence up here. If you don't duck in time, you can get caught on that as well.
Yeah, it could be just little tiny minor minor time losses. So Nyx is moving through here quite swiftly, and Chase is as well. So they're both making some pretty good time here.
Oh
Alan and the
yeah.
Copper best characters. You guys are right. So right up in here in the guest house is going to be one of the first retries up here.
Unfortunately, I'm a console runner, so I'm not 100% sure on all of the PC retries. But
Oh, you're totally good here. So the retry that they do there, right there at the beginning, it just increases movement speed by just slightly a little bit. Definitely helps save a little bit of time here.
yeah, that's also one that we do as well. Do on console. On console we only have 3 retries. In PC, there's quite a few more. I'm not 100% sure how many there are.
Yeah, there's a huge handful. I mean, me being a PC runner myself, I still utilize only 3, but I actually learned today that there's actually way more. Yeah, I'll definitely be utilizing that in my later runs.
Yep, and Yasi here in chat just confirmed there are 6 retries on PC, so twice the amount as there are on console.
So down here in the crawl space area, we'll actually be getting one of our first kind of little skips here. One of the ones that was found pretty early on when this game first came out. So when you crawl here under the crawl space, you'll ideally during your first playthroughs and casual playthroughs and whatnot, a body will pop up, and that's Andre, one of the like those ghost hunter guys that came here to the house. Ideally, since the water is bubbling and all that stuff, usually his body would pop up and give you that quick little jump scare. But right up here, Nyx is doing it right now. You just kind of turn your camera to the right to avoid that body popping up, and there you go. Just no body.
Yeah, bodies are bad, okay?
Especially ones that are rotting and dead.
And make you fall and lose time. We don't lose time here. We save frames.
Oh, and also to note, Nyx here is also using a controller, which is pretty interesting on PC. But props to him because he's also a console runner as well. So use what's the most comfortable.
Yeah, so what you're going to be seeing Nyx do a lot of are what we in console call quick turns. When you grab an item and hit the quick turnaround button at the same time, you will grab the item and quick turn, which will give you an extra, couple seconds to select the item to get it in your inventory and not waste time.
Yeah, for sure. So now one of the best parts here in the guest house for both Nyx and Chase and everyone who runs this game, you get to now take a nice small walk through the basement. And you cannot go in front of Mia whatsoever. So Mia's sitting here telling you a story, why she's here and whatnot. And you, Ethan, cannot do anything. You can't go past her, none of that stuff. So, you see Nyx there memeing with the blocks. So we have to slowly walk behind her throughout this whole sequence here.
Yeah, I do. I have a habit of trying to run into Mia just to see if I can get that little extra push, just to save me a little bit of time every now and then.
Now, we'd like to think that would help, but unfortunately not. There's been times, especially here around this corner, where you get a little bit more open space. I try to go around her to the left, and you physically cannot. So, yeah, it's good times. Good times. Basements are pretty fun, especially when they're filled with lots of stuff like that. Trash bags full of body parts. And
yeah, all the ooey gooeys are always fun.
Especially, at later parts during this run, you'll actually get into the basement a small handful of times, depending on your strats. If you can pull off the out of bounds strat or anything or not, you'll see lots of interesting things here in basements in general. I was going to say this basement, but no, it's actually the basements in the main house that see a lot of interesting stuff in there. So we'll get to see that a little bit later.
Yep. And for those of you playing the bingo game along with it, if Jack does die while somebody is setting up the OOB, that is one of the spots on that bingo card. So make sure to watch out for that.
So does anyone get anything for filling out that bingo card by any chance? Or is it just bragging rights?
I think it's just bragging rights. I have no idea, honestly.
Yeah, I saw that some of those spots were actually filled out. That was actually really cool. It's just fun, and that's awesome. Anything for fun. All right, so this part here that Nyx just got to, you'll have to listen to Mia through this little her little spiel, you know, trying to find the exit. You want to do some just mainly one specific action here where you just kind of stand up against this pillar, angled a certain way so you can proceed the cutscene quicker. Because usually she'll talk more and then she'll go sit down on the couch and you just have to observe a little bit around here. But no, just like Nyx did there, Mia goes through that wall and then you get to proceed with this next section here.
Yep, and then what you saw Nick's doing with that dowel, those are just practice quick turns. We use that to kind of make sure we got our thumbs in the right position for those quick turns.
To make sure you're all warmed up and stuff.
Oh yeah, because there's a lot of them for console runners.
Yeah, so what you saw Chase do here and Nyx did a little bit earlier, once you went up those stairs, you have the quickest way to get to this part is just to go into that bathroom, turn around immediately, and come here. And then you see Mia go into full-on Eevee rage mode. She suddenly has like 10,000 strength or whatever. So in this part, you just let her attack you. You could originally resist, but that will unfortunately take up some time. And even here during this part, you'll want to run straight into her so she attacks you more and proceeds the part a little bit further. So yeah, we're just now getting tortured by Mia.
Yep, so the reason we run forward is because it takes Mia longer to actually get to you than it does for you to run forward and initiate this cutscene.
Dang, how do you think Ethan's hands are feeling after all of this right now? Do you think he's questioning some of his life decisions right now?
I mean, I would be. I mean, I don't want a knife through the hand.
All right, so both Nyx and Chase here are pretty much at the same part here with Mia knocking herself out here. You want to stand here just at a very specific position, and you know, some people have a couple different strats. I do this weird thing where I step forward twice and move back twice. You basically just want to keep your camera here at this angle, and so Mia gets up quicker. And now will be the Mia 1 boss fight here for Nyx.
And the fastest strat that I'm aware of, and like I said, I'm a console runner, is as soon as you grab the axe, you run towards Mia, duck, and swing twice. If you do it just right, you'll get the 2-hit Mia. And Nyx took an extra swing there just to make sure, I believe, but I think he got the 2-hit Mia.
Yeah, pretty smooth fight for Nyx. Chase taking a little bit of damage there, but you know, still got that Mia, which is other cool thing here. You see how right there at the end of that fight, you're able to put the axe in Mia's neck, you know, pretty immediately. Usually, when you play this game casually, Ethan will put in a couple more punches into Mia, but if you tap the space bar, you'll be able to skip all that, you know, extra animations, takes up extra time. So yeah, if you hit spacebar to block, then you just get the axe into her neck, and then you could proceed a little bit quicker.
And what we try to do is when placing that axe in the neck, we want to point her out into the hallway. So as you're running down the hallway, you can just pick up the axe along the way and not have to re-enter that room.
Yeah, exactly. So Nick's already on his way to get the fuse, and Chase now just picking up his axe here. And one thing that we could also utilize here is another retry. Nyx did it a little bit earlier, where you retry there right at the doorway once you see the autosave, and it increases your movement speed a little bit. So saves a little extra time here in the guest house.
Yep, that's another one of the ones that us console players use as well.
So now, with Chase here, grabbing the fuse, sticking it there in the box, you now have given power to that electrical box to get up to the elevator to where you can do the Mia 2 boss fight. But before you do that awesome boss fight, you have to go through yet another cutscene.
Yep. And for you non-Zero D players, this cutscene is probably one of the more graphic ones where Ethan gets his hand cut off. But for Zero D players, you'll go to, as Nyx just did, a black screen and come back, and his hand is fine, and he blocked a chainsaw with his wrist.
And still magically has his hand on, so props to Ethan. What a superhuman.
Well, apparently, everything in this game is fixed with a staple gun. So, um, when you go to the next cutscene where you're in the house and you're, excuse me, strapped down to the chair, you'll see a little cutscene of Zoe staple gunning his hand back on, which apparently seems to work.
Well, dang, if only other real life problems were fixed with staple guns. But so both runners here on their way up here to the attic. Nyx's already here to initiate that Mia tube fight here. So the ideal strat here would be to get the one-hit Mia, which is where you can achieve with a high frame rate, and with one clipped swing here. So let's see. Looks like Nyx got it in about 3. Still pretty smooth because taking no damage here is still a lot quicker than taking any damage.
Because as you see, taking any damage here makes Ethan back up and have to reset your line of attack against Mia. And ooh,
I was gonna say,
yeah, he just took a death here.
Yeah, Chase unfortunately taking a death. I would say the bonk there from Mia from the ladder can really mess up your setup here, can throw you off. But it's all good. Happens to the best of us. Everyone knows, especially, I was going to say, some of you folks here have seen it happen to me plenty of times, and I'm sure any other runner of this game has had a death here. I don't think any run here.
At least a death here. I've had probably 100.
So, but still a nice effort for Chase here. Nyx on his way here to the guest house after being picked up by lovely old Jack here. And what some folks here saying in the chat, yes, Mia is definitely one of the hardest fights up here, just because that setup, you want to make sure you get it just right and get those clipped hits. But yeah, looks like, yeah, well done, Chase. Mia is dead.
And even though Chase did take a death there's still plenty of room he can make up. There's a lot of RNG in this game, and there's a lot that can be messed up. So that's still going to be a very, very close race.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely little things here and there that can mess up. Even if you miss the out of bounds strat, or if you take a death somewhere else. I mean, I've definitely taken molded deaths at random spots in this run. So anything can happen. Anything can happen. Now, Nyx here seeing this lovely dinner scene with the Baker family. You get introduced to Lucas, Marguerite, and Jack. And traditionally in this scene, Lucas gets his arm cut off. But since everyone's running Sarah D, Lucas magically still has his arm on. I always joked around with everyone, all these guts on the table. I always thought that those intestines there looked like shrimp. And now I can't look at shrimp the same way ever since I started playing this game.
See, now I think you just ruined shrimp for me.
No, it's okay. I did a thing a few weeks ago. Well, actually, no, this was last week. I was trying to eat. I was trying to eat a snack during these cutscenes because, like I said earlier, you get dedicated snack time during these cutscenes, and I just could not. As many times as we all have played this game, and I've seen you guys run this, I couldn't eat during this scene.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever eaten during this scene. It's just the table is too disgusting for me to try and stick something in my mouth.
So once Jack gets up and walks away, you're still trapped here in your seat. You have to spam the WASD keys to get out of your chair, like Nyx is doing here. Next part that's coming up here, you'll want to grab the hatch key that's there in the corner. This part has a little bit of RNG here, just because Jack can be kind of handsy. He can grab you and hit you, that sort of thing. So look for some good RNG here. And Nyx avoiding both the swing and a grab. Well done, Nyx.
And as you notice, as Nyx was running down the hall, he opened the door preemptively just so he could get in there quicker. And he actually got some really good RNG there with being able to dodge both those attacks and then dodge the incoming attack on the way back.
Yeah, Jack can definitely he can definitely make some folks reset there if he hits you. Sometimes with I think it's his overhead shoulder. I mean, sorry, his yeah, definitely the overhead shoulder hit. It can knock you back. So you can. There's definitely some parts you can lose some time there. So Nyx did a great job navigating through that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also there's a thing called hallway skip, which Nyx did not do, and I'm not sure if Chase will do it either. But if you can get Jack to do that overhead swing after you click on the door with the key, and he waits there long enough, you can spin around and he will bust through that wall. You could just go right in there and open up that that hatch.
Yeah, Nyx unfortunately did not execute that hallway skip. It basically depends on the placement of Jack there. I think Jack was kind of too close for there around that corner, so he couldn't get that hallway skip. Chase might be able to get it if he gets Jack a little further back here.
Yeah. And as you can see, there's all the RNG right there, just between the two different games. Jack not grabbing Nyx and being able to grab Chase there.
Yeah, for sure. So we see Nyx is here already at the cop / sheriff. No, it's the deputy. I was gonna say can't get his name wrong because even this guy corrects Ethan here in the game. Nyx is already here at this cutscene. He grabbed pretty much every item there in the item box. I was gonna say your primary weapons here for this fight will essentially be your circular saw and your Albert pistol. So you'll get to see this lovely Jack 1 boss fight coming up.
Yeah, and there are multiple strats for the Jack 1 boss fight. I'm not sure which one is the fastest. We've done some testing. They all come out to be about the same. You could either use the saw the first time, wait till he comes at you for the car, shoot him in the head. He'll immediately go into the car, and then you can shoot him in the head again, or you can run up to the car and use the saw. They all averaged out about the same time. Sometimes one was faster than the other, and vice versa. So we're still trying to figure out which one's faster.
So it seems Chase just grabbed the necessary items out of the item box, which is still an appropriate strat. Some folks, I think Nyx did this, and I see a lot of other runners do this, where they will they'll pick up all the items in the item box and then delete them from your inventory a little bit later, because you can delete New Game Plus items and random, I was going to say New Game Plus items, and I think some random documents or something from your inventory, which can make things a little easier.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure which strat's faster is going through the items or whatnot, but you do have some time in between quote cutscenes unquote to delete said items, and when you delete the items, you don't actually just lose the items, they just go back to your inventory box.
So Nyx here not using the sauce strat, he is using just the Albert only, still viable, and then you can saw him as you get into the car. And then right after this, Jack will forget how to drive for a second and boom, right into the wall.
And usually at this point, I would have taken damage at some point because I'm not the greatest runner in the world. There's a healing item over in that corner locker that you can go grab during the car crash scene, because you have enough time to go over there, use it, and then get in position to do the leg shot here to Jack before the ladder falls.
Mm-hmm. And you saw Nyx rearranging certain items in his inventory over to the side. Menuing is a huge thing in this when you're running this game. You'll want to make sure that items are in a particular spot. This game is unique in a way that your cursor is over the last item you were over, or something to that nature. So basically the last item you picked up, the cursor will be there. So you want to make sure that your cursor is always in the appropriate spot for you. Nyx actually did a interesting thing here that actually, Gil, you could probably elaborate on the whole quick turn.
Yeah, so what Nyx did during that quick turn is when you quick turn on an item, you'll be looking at the back of it, and in order to get the relief off of that picture, you need to rotate it to the back to unscrew it. So when Nyx did that quick turn, he's automatically already looking at the back of it. And then when he quick turned back, he hit your action button at the correct time to do what's called quick turn canceling. You can quick turn cancel to hit when you hit an item. He did that by, oh man, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. He spun around. Yeah, he spun around and selected the shelf, which stopped his quick turn. Otherwise, he would have had to move a little bit more, which would have lost him some time.
Nyx here about to grab the blue dog head, one of the keys essentially you need to get out of the house. Chase here about to proceed upwards, done with his Jack 2 fight. Well done, Chase.
And this is where the out of bounds setup starts. Everything you do from here on out is going to affect how Jack reacts to the out of bounds and whether you kill him or not. So the first thing you need to do with the Albert is shoot him in the leg, which Nyx is going to do to get around him. And then you need to, as Nyx is doing, run downstairs, go to the clock, get the dog head out of the clock. All of this hopefully before Jack jumps down or just as Jack jumps down. Then you want to run out the door and get Jack's attention, like as Nyx is doing, by shooting, which will put him in a position in this hallway to, when you spin around, you need to shoot him in the chest, which will stop him in his tracks. Hopefully not kill him. Run out there. Yeah, you don't want to kill him. Run out here, do the shadow puzzle, and then set yourself up for the out of bounds.
Now, the reason Nyx does this puzzle, if you do not do this puzzle, the shadow puzzle right here, the game will soft lock at a later point. So this is one of those little things you have to do to ensure that the game doesn't soft lock later on. And Nyx doing the quicker out of bounds setup with the G17 pistol as opposed to the Albert.
And let's hope he gets the shot off and doesn't kill him. Yep, got the shot. Switching to 30 frames so he can squeeze by him, and hopefully he gets this set up right. You have to stand at a very specific spot on the steps. It's not like hugely specific, which Nyx did get it.
He did get it, yay!
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a hugely specific spot. There's a lot of room for error. But if you don't stand, like it's kind of in between that platform step and the step just below it in order to get that out of bounds.
And he's switching his frame rate here down to 60, so you can drop back in, because if your frame rate's too high, you will then reset right at the beginning of where you began out of bounds, so you'll lose some time there, just a little bit of backtracking there. So he was able to get back in bounds and pick up the red key card, which will save you a little bit of time a little down the road.
Absolutely, that saves you a whole trip into the basement, which I think saves... I'm not going to say, because I'm not 100% sure on the timing on it. I just run the game. I don't do all the math. Nobody told me there'd be math today.
I think it's 10 seconds. I could be wrong. One of our lovely folks in chat can probably confirm that. I know we have quite a few world record holders hanging out in here right now.
Oh yeah, Yassi's in here, Horror's in here. We got a lot of people that run this game that know more about the math than I do.
And Rossi's in here as well, so all lovely folks. And of course, all of you guys, all of you lovely folks hanging out and watching with us tonight. So thank you, thank you. And looks like Chase also just got the out of bounds. Well done, Chase.
Awesome, great job.
And Nyx here about to do his Jack 2 boss fight here. You'll primarily be using your Albert pistol here. You'll want to do one shot to the face, and then saw to the big growth. I never called that anything. We have a term for Marge's area. I don't have a term for Jack's.
I just call it the teeth in the shoulder because that's what it looks like to me. I don't think there's an actual, like, you know, name people call it.
So Nyx with the very smooth Jack 2 boss fight. In the Sarah D version, you can go here with. You're also supposed to pick up the other, you know, the other actual chainsaw, like Nyx did here. And as soon as Jack dies, you can come here with the chainsaw and go right through the door. In the original version, the non-Zero D version, you'll have to wait for Jack's torso to fall down. So yeah, this is one of those instances where the Zero D version saves more time.
Yeah, that's one of the problems I have running normal version. A lot of the time saves are just in the different, because Zero D version is a less I would say graphically intense version of the game, so there's not as bad there's not as many nasty quote unquote things in the game that prevent you from running quicker.
And we have Chase here starting his Jack 2 fight. Let's bless up and see. Hope this goes well.
Hey, let's get some bless RNG in the chat for Chase here.
And oh, one more cycle for him for Jack there. And
unfortunately, he had to wait for Jack to break that column. Sometimes you can stun lock him out of it, but I think that one's also all RNG. I haven't really completely found out a way to prevent him from doing that.
And that's enough of the Baker family for now. Well, definitely for now. We'll see some other members later. Nick's here in the trailer. This is one of the phone calls that you cannot skip. After a certain point, you can start skipping phone calls. You will hear the phone ring at various points in the game. These few phone calls here at the beginning of the game, you will have to answer and sit through. After a certain point here in the old house, you'll get to start skipping phone calls. So that will be coming up here shortly.
Yep, it's actually all of the man, I forgot his name. Lucas phone calls that you get to skip.
Well, he's kind of mean anyway, so I'm glad we get to skip his phone calls.
And here we go into the old house. Nick's starting it off.
Now you'll notice there on both runners on the bottom right corner, you'll see a little plus sign next to their ammo. That means they're using the enhanced ammo. That's the primary bullets you'll be using for both your Albert and your G17 pistol. They are way more potent, do a ton of damage. So you'll see lots of runners just spamming. You'll see a lot of runners just constantly spamming that R, the reload, just because we're so used to reloading that Albert so many times since it only holds 3 shots. So it's pretty interesting.
Yep. Always keep that Albert full just in case. You never know when you need that extra bullet.
Now this is where you meet Marguerite and her potty mouth, and I guess her thing is bugs, and she spawns some spiders there on the door. Quickest way to get rid of those spiders is to pull out your circular saw and saw them right off. And sometimes if you have to do it you can do it at a certain angle to make those spiders go away pretty quickly. So Nyx was able to do that there, so well done.
Yep. Actually, the strat there I believe for computers is switch your frame rate. That way you can, if you switch it to 60, you don't have to move up and down the door to kill all those bugs in order to get through it.
Now another part here that's actually probably one of the more terrifying parts here of the run, either casually or even as the season runners, when all these centipedes here spawn. They don't do damage to you, but holy crap, it is not a pretty sight.
As everybody in chat starts spamming with Nyx Re.
Yeah, I feel that way every time I see those spiders. Now Chase is on his way to the old house. Nice. He'll be on his way to destroy or do some damage to some of these nests here and grab that spider statue so he can be well on his way. Nyx grabbing the crank. This is your first use of the crank. You'll have to use it a handful of other times, but you only have to use it twice here in the old house, thankfully. Now
the whole reason we take those first 2 shots at that first nest is, as we're going through this room again, we just take 2 more. It eliminates that nest. You don't have to worry about ducking back underneath it. And the strat here to kind of bypass Marge is to head straight for that radiator right there, which for some weird reason just completely makes it so that she can't see you as you run right in front of her.
Yeah, thankfully on easy mode, she doesn't see you if you stay at a certain area. In other modes, she'll definitely see you. And yeah, during this part here, she's not visible anywhere else. But once we get up there to that crow door, she'll spawn. She'll spawn again, and that will initiate the Marge 1 boss fight here.
Absolutely. And if you have really good strats, you can kill her in 3 shots. It's usually 2 shots with the Albert and then 1 with the G17.
Some folks, well, myself, I use 1 Albert, 3 G17s, but whichever one kills her faster. We'll see what Nyx does here.
Yeah, that's just what I use. That's I have no idea. I just run the game.
Yeah, you have plenty of ideas. No, do not fret. So yeah, he's doing the 1 Albert, 3 G17s, and that little strat you saw there where he was able to shoot quickly, it was this thing called well, quick shooting. It's well, I'm not sure how it is on controller, but at least on PC, you alternate between right click and left click, and it makes you aim down sights and not aim down sights, and helps you shoot quicker.
Yeah, all we do in console is spam the trigger and spam the zoom button. So it's probably about the same.
Yeah, Rossi here commenting saying it's easier on controller. So you guys would know better than me. I have terrible console aim, so yeah.
Yeah, I've been a console player my whole life. I don't think I could ever switch to mouse and keyboard. That's just like you PC runners have so much of my respect because you guys can do that. I don't have the hand-eye coordination for it.
Nah, and same to you guys. Actually, so Nyx here, he just answered that phone call. That's actually the last phone call you'll have to answer this whole game. Well, at least in this area. So, and now he's setting up for the lantern skip, which unfortunately he did not get. You still get to skip a little part of Marge's little animation here. So he will still save a little bit of time here.
Yeah, the part of that skip that is hard is where you drop into that hole. If you drop wrong, you're just gonna kind of glitch yourself back up to the top, and then you have to watch that whole little scene right there.
Now Chase here at his Marge 1 boss fight. And he did all 3 Alberts, and there she goes. Down Marge goes.
Hey, as long as she falls, that's all that matters. Good job, man.
Well done, well done. Nyx on his way here to the Marge 2 boss fight here. What you want to do is get her to spawn out of the window. Some folks have different strats here. You can empty your whole Albert and all of your G17 in there, walk over with your saw, look up at that top spawn hole, and then as soon as you hear Marge, you can saw into the void and she'll spawn here. And as soon as she screams, you can saw some more. Looks like she jumped up, so he did not get the 1 cycle, but he'll still kill her rather quickly. And there she goes. Well done, Nyx.
Yep. See, so the strat there, I believe, like from what I've been told, is I have never been able to hit it on console. Unfortunately, I always get her jumping to the ceiling. But it's you empty both guns into her, and then you do exactly as Mars said. But what you don't want to do is before she jumps, is break that sack. If you break the sack before she jumps, it's guaranteed to have her hit the ceiling.
Yeah, it's definitely if you use the saw too quickly, or burst that sack like Gil said, yeah, that will get her to jump. So it's a small little timing thing.
And there Chase goes. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Chase did just complete that cutscene skip right there perfectly.
Oh, he got the lantern
well
skip?
done,
Well
Chase.
done.
Yes, he did. Well done, Chase.
GG's. I mean, that's still one that I will not get on the regular. So GG's to him.
Absolutely, I screw that one up all the time.
Now Chase here about to start his March 2 boss fight. Let's see how he does here. And using the same strat as Nyx there, emptying as much of his guns in there as possible, staring at that ceiling. Seems like his primary use here is his Albert, so let's see if he can get the one cycle. He did take a little bit of damage there, but let's see if he recovers. And got the ceiling jump, but still. No worries, no worries. And there she goes.
Oh no. There it goes. Yep. Sorry about that. Good job, Chase. What? Good fight. Good fight.
Well done, Chase. Nyx just picking up the D-Series arm. Doing a quick little retry there. So this molded spawns immediately. Sometimes once you go open that door, it'll take a little bit for that molded to spawn. You'll see nothing there, and then all of a sudden that molded will spawn and kind of almost jump scare you if you're not expecting it. So Nyx did that little retry as soon as he got out of the crawl space, so that molded can spawn.
Yeah, that is an issue we on console have a problem with. We don't get a retry right there. Doesn't affect it doesn't affect that molded at all. So whether it spawns or not, it's kind of random on us.
I always found it interesting, and you see Chase kind of walk through it here. When you get that lantern skip, you still see that giant pile of bug soup. Because in the game, when you play it casually, that's supposed to be gone. But us, you breaking the game and whatnot, you still see it there. You walk through it. Actually, in the casual game, you'll take damage if you walk through there. But thank you to the that lantern skip where you do not take damage from.
Yep. And here comes another part where you have to kind of set up so that you don't soft lock the game. What Nyx is going to do right now is to pick up that snake key, and what you actually have to do is there's a clock puzzle prior to getting the red key, which he got earlier in the game by doing the out of bounds skip. If you do not do that clock puzzle, you'll soft lock the game in front of the Lucas TV cutscene.
This is actually this area that Nyx is coming up on, where he goes to get that snake key, like Gil said, is actually another part that will save quite a bit of time with the Sarah D version. Because originally you have to get it from the neck. And actually right here too, Nyx is switching to 30 FPS, so that crawler that busts out of the wall, you can just walk through it, and he resets it, so you don't have to deal with him. And he'll go in here and just grab that key, which skips another little cutscene there, so that's a huge time saver there with the version.
Yeah, that's about a 25-second time save, I believe. 20 to 25 seconds.
Yeah, it's quite amazing how long that if Ethan reaching into that sheriff's neck and grabbing that key, how much time you lose just by doing that. That crawler makes me so nervous. The one that Nyx just walked by.
Yeah, I don't take my chances with him. I saw him in the face.
I usually saw him in the face too, but when I see you guys just using the Albert on those guys, like, yeah, it can definitely give you a Monka's moment. And this is the part that Gil was talking about earlier. Nyx is going to go complete this clock puzzle so you don't soft lock a little bit later, since we did that out of bounds skip a little bit earlier. So this is ideally where you go into the breed pass through the basement a third time, but since we got that red key card early, we don't have to do that. So that's why we still have to do that clock puzzle, so the game doesn't soft lock later.
Yep, and coming up is probably one of the hardest shadow puzzles in the game. Just the way you have to line it up is pretty specific.
It could definitely be a little tricky, but Nyx was able to do it there, and you could see those really smooth controller movements. Anytime I'm doing it on PC, you just see my little guy kind of go halfway across the screen. But well done, Nyx, for that smooth shadow puzzle. And now Chase here, also skipping that crawler out of the wall, grabbing his snake key, and will be well on his way.
One thing I do think that we did fail to mention, though, however, is when prior to going into the house, you usually have to go into the trailer and get a phone call there. But to skip that, we just go and touch the trailer, and that initiates the phone call, and we can just fly right through and make it to the house.
Oh yeah, you just take Ethan and you just tap that little edge of the trailer, and yeah, like Gil said, you can skip that phone call and just go right into the house, no problem. Chase here about to complete his clock puzzle, so the game doesn't soft lock on him. Well done, well done. Nick's sitting through another quite interesting cutscene, where you learn of Lucas and kind of his little shenanigans and the last piece that you need for the serum. So you learn how much of a sadistic, interesting guy he is. And yeah, this is a part I usually look away just because I do not like when he pulls off his fingernails. That's something I still do not like to this day.
Definitely a cringy moment right there. Definitely.
I can deal with these weird moldeds and basically and Marge's bug sack and all that other stuff, but Lucas here pulling off his fingernails is definitely something to this day I will not look at. And yes,
close
guys,
your eyes, Mar. Close your eyes.
To everyone who's watching, yes, I'm not looking at the screen. I'm looking down. My eyes are closed.
Don't worry, Mar. I'll let you. It's all done. You can watch now.
Okay, good.
Got some people going rip Mar in the chat here.
Yeah, everyone here knows because usually I turn the camera away. You don't see the screen at all. And what's interesting is that even if you look away, the game will make you it'll slowly aim your camera back there to that TV. So that's always great.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of console runners. We can just hold the controller to the side and not have to worry about it.
Now Chase making his way to the barn, putting his 2 key cards in, and we'll have to see that. We'll have to see that lovely cutscene. It's actually pretty interesting. Both Nyx and Chase are here at the same time, same spot, but at different parts. So they're not too far apart here.
No, I think there's only about 10-15 seconds between them, I believe. Just about that whole cutscene. Yep. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good. Nick's here pulling out his G17 so he can quickly get rid of these wire traps here. It can be kind of tricky to get them all in one swoop here. Nick's doing a swift job there. And yay, he got some first aid, so now he can not worry about his health for a little bit. If you take damage at any part in this run, if that crate has the first aid as opposed to handgun bullets, it's always nice. It's like a free heal, which helps you worry less a little bit later on.
Yeah, that's always a good thing, is getting those extra free heals.
Now in this part here with the keypad, you want to, not enter
Look away,
anything.
Mar. Look away.
Oh, I have my hand up. So while those giant beams of steel were dropping down, you saw Nyx there put some items there in the item box. When you go to the happy birthday puzzle a little bit later, you cannot enter that room unless you are not carrying anything. So to get to that part a little bit quicker, since you have a little bit of downtime before this before one of these doors open, we'll go ahead and we'll empty some items there into the item box. Because honestly, for this part, you only just need your Albert and your infinite ammo. I saw that Nyx kept his saw, but whatever's quickest and comfortable for everyone. Everyone has their own strats.
Yeah. While you're in the elevator, that whole time you're going up that elevator after this fight, you can throw items back into the box, or delete them, however you want to word it.
So here in this part, Nyx just put that battery there, and he'll initiate a tiny little fight here. You'll have one of these big moldeds. People will call them fat moldeds. I'll call them big boy moldeds, whatever floats anyone's boat here. You want to empty 9 Albert shots into him as he's coming down, and then one last shot here once that door opens. You'll want to block that because these guys will explode and you will take damage from them. But Nyx was able to do that rather quickly. So GG's, Nyx.
Yes, that was. He actually put, I think, a total of 8 shots into him there.
Yeah, sometimes I can't count.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know the exact count either. I just spam bullets until it dies.
So as you see for Chase, he's putting away his items in a very particular order because you'll want to, when you grab your items later, you just want to make sure um, you can grab your items like in one fell swoop and not have to think about it. So that will benefit him for later on once he goes to the boathouse, which is Nyx will be on his way there very shortly. He's going actually to my favorite puzzle of the game, just because I don't know. I always loved this even during my casual and blind playthroughs. I always thought it was a cool puzzle.
Yeah, the first time I played this game casually, it was kind of a freaky puzzle. All the extra stuff that happens down in that video that you don't get to see during the speed run. So if you guys want to see that, definitely check it out. It's worth the watch.
Yeah, there's pretty much every videotape that you pick up. They're kind of they can be either cringeworthy or just kind of a drag, but the happy birthday one is definitely a top tier one. And not only that, you'll learn the solution to the puzzle, but as speedrunners, we don't have to do the puzzles. And for here, thankfully, Ethan somehow already knows the solution. This is a part here that I know Yasi will like and some other folks. So for this password here, it the password is exactly 5 spaces away. The password is loser, but each letter is 5 spaces away, up or down. And every time during that part, I always count 1 to 5. I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 every single time. So that's always a funny part.
Oh, I'm sure everybody does. I know I at least do it in my head. I'm counting as I'm pressing the button.
Yeah, you guys know earlier how I said I can't count. Well, I lied. I actually can count. I count to 5 there all the time.
Fingers and toes, Mar. Fingers and toes.
So Nick's here about to complete his puzzle. You lit the cake, but it's actually hiding a surprise. There it is. It exploded. So that's your birthday surprise. How lovely. So during this part, a piece of dynamite will drop down. You'll want to open up the wall to put that piece of dynamite in there.
And of course, Nyx has to play with the dynamite.
Something that we didn't note, as I see Chase here putting that password in. So the password is 1408 to get in there. If you come in during a second playthrough or during a speed run or whatever and try to put it in early, that password will change. So you do not want to put that in any earlier than you have to, because that password will change. So just something that I thought of as I saw Chase do that.
Yeah, actually, I did not know that. I had a lot of people asking me, well, what happens if you put the password in right away? And I didn't have an answer for them. Now I do.
Yeah, it will change. We saw Nyx go to this earlier, but that room where you press the button and the little stairs go down, there's a room right next to it, and there's a burnt guy there, and that's actually Clancy. He was the guy in the original Happy Birthday video, and he was part of the whole Ghost Hunter crew and all that. The password is pinned onto him. The new password it is. Well, you actually see the 1408 password there, but if like I said, if you put it in early, that password will change. So if you try to put it in early and it doesn't work, you'll have to go to Clancy and get the new password. So little bit there.
Hey, you learn something new every day.
Exactly. So Nick's just put up he used his crank to put up those bridges there so he can proceed here to the boathouse. These molded can be kind of stubborn, especially those crawlers.
Yep, and this next boss fight he's coming on is Jack 3. It's the most notorious and memey of all boss fights in this game.
But it's the most satisfying to hit. It's definitely one of my favorite boss fights up here. Chase here about to complete his happy birthday puzzle. Nice, nice.
Zoe, ich... Jetzt. Wir haben keine Zeit.
If your cell phone password is 1408,
I was just about to say that.
You should probably change it today if you don't want anyone hacking into your phone. So during this part, you see Nyx has his Albert equipped. That's definitely gonna be the first weapon you want to use for this fight here. You'll be alternating actually between all three of your weapons. You'll be alternating between your Albert, G17, and your saw. Your saw is going to be the main one here, but you want to start off using this Albert because as soon as Jack grabs you and then he sets you down, you're going to want to put one Albert into his eyeball and then another, well, here in his face, and then another shot down there at the bottom. So you have to get a very specific shot there on that eyeball on the bottom. So let's see if he gets it. So there he goes. He gets that tail eyeball. Great. Nice. So now he brings out a saw and saws these eyeballs here in a very specific order. And yeah, you use the G17 there for that one eyeball there. Nice. And well done. Very nice and clean. GG's Nyx.
Yeah, that was a very, very clean Jack 3 fight. Jack 3 can be kind of memey as far as the fight goes if he doesn't move just right or you don't hit a specific eye at the right time. It gets a little difficult.
Yeah, sometimes that eyeball there on the face when you drop down, you know, if you saw his eyeball there, sometimes you'll get stuck on one side. Like sometimes if I get stuck to the left as opposed to the right, that will really mess up my positioning and stuff. So it seemed to work out really well for Nyx here. So I bet he's really happy about that.
Now Charlie. Chase is coming up on the fight himself. So let's see how well he does at it.
So as you see here, as this cutscene plays out, you put one of those serums that Zoe made to kill Jack here, and you see that he crystallizes. And I always thought that was just the weirdest thing. It was it's interesting because you know you made two of them. Zoe gave you one, and she told you to use it. And then when you have one left over, and she's all surprised. So that part always made me think, but. You know, what can you do?
I've never done the save Zoe ending, unfortunately, just because I've always thought, well, Zoe told me to use one, so she offered me using hers, so I'm gonna give Mia's to Mia.
Right. Chase actually here coming up on his Jack 3 boss fight here. Alrighty.
It's definitely doing some very different strats here.
Yeah, for sure. Whatever works best for everyone. So, you know, he has a very unique way of doing this fight. Now, as we were saying earlier with that serum, as you saw Nyx do, you actually do get a choice up there. The game will ask you if you want to save Mia or if you want to save Zoe, and you know you want to aim there. You want to aim your mouse over there to the left to make sure that you choose Mia. You can choose Zoe. This is one game where it'll give you definitely an alternate ending or so there, and yeah, if you choose Zoe, it you know, most of us want to save Zoe just because, you know, she helped us out throughout this whole thing and she gave us so many tips and survival things and things of that nature. But and you know, we probably hold a lot of resentment towards Mia right now. But yeah, if you actually choose Zoe, it is the slower path. This little cutscene that you see playing out right now for Nyx, it lasts. If you have Zoe here, that part lasts a little longer, and then you'll also get an additional boss fight in the ship with Mia. So as much as we would want to choose Zoe because she's awesome, we cannot choose her if we're speedrunning this game. Now, if you guys want to route
Yep.
a Zoe percent, feel free, but yeah.
That would definitely be a meme category, and Chase is just now completing his Jack 3 boss fight.
Nice, nice. Well done, Chase. Just getting through Jack there without dying is definitely a feat in itself, so well done, well done. Now, we're sitting here talking about meme categories, and Ezekiel there saying, make no guest house a non-meme category. I'm still, now, I may be in the minority here. I know there's like a small handful that have expressed interest in this. I'm still for a Magnum percent. I know it takes a long time. I know you can't blind fire with it or whatever, but I want Magnum percent. I will route that one day, and I don't care if I'm the only one doing it.
Definitely down with you to run Magnum percent.
Yeah, new game plus Magnum percent. I'm down. I just need to not be lazy one day. So, Nyx is about to enter the ship section here. As you saw, we are now taking control of Mia. Because it looks like we'll have to, as you see there, Ethan. Oh no, Ethan, what happened? Now we'll have to go rescue Ethan now. So now we take control of Mia. Unfortunately, that means all of our inventory is gone. All of those beautiful weapons that we had, they are now gone. We just now have a what was it, like a little vial of the necrotoxin or something like that. Some tissue samples. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's Mia's tissue sample.
Yeah. So you don't have your infinite ammo. You don't have your Alberts. You don't have healing items. You have nothing. So yeah, we are now taking control of Mia through this ship section here. This is actually the boat. This was actually the boat she was on for her job, and it crashed here in Louisiana. So she's here searching here for Ethan, and you kind of slowly get flashbacks as you see right here.
Yep, and unfortunately, throughout the whole time, is not the whole time is playing in Mia because you do have that videotape, but the whole time you're in the actual the present with Mia, we don't pick up weapons. It's actually just faster to not do it, and you can avoid a lot of the damage that these molded do deal out as Mia.
Yeah, for sure. It's only during the videotape section. Well, and actually, early since I did note you don't have to do any videotapes in this run. Unfortunately, there is one videotape you have to complete in this game, and it's the one here on the ship. So during that section, you can use a couple weapons to get through it quicker. But when you're Mia in the present time, like Gil said, you don't have to pick up any weapons or heals or nothing of the sort. You can just kind of breeze through the ship section here without any items.
Somebody in Jessica in chat just mentioned Nyx's timer and they're having to move it now, but it was sitting at 0020 something there for a second.
I just noted that too, and I was like, well, I was like, what happened? Nah, it looks like they just had to resize it, so all's good. So Nyx here just did another retry, where he skipped the little drop animation for Mia because she was crawling through the vents. You drop down so you can proceed through this area. Well, as she's dropping down, you can actually do a retry there, and you can skip her whole dropping down animation and getting up. When you retry there, she's standing up. She didn't have to drop, so that will save a little bit of time. And I was going to say, I'll shout out to Ross Rossi because I was talking to him earlier today, and he showed me a few additional retries, and I was like, wow, I actually never did these in my runs. So that was one I actually learned about today. So Gil saying you learn something new every day, that was definitely something I learned today.
Absolutely. Always good to learn new strats, make the game go faster.
For sure, for sure. Now Chase here taking control of Mia, about to go through this lovely, beautiful ship section. Essentially our cruise. Kappa. Definitely not the type of cruise I want to be on.
Absolutely not. Unless you're a fan of that kind of thing.
You know, maybe we can have a ghost ship cruise. Do people do that? That would be interesting, like around Halloween time.
It wouldn't surprise me. Somebody out there somewhere is probably doing one.
So Nick's here grabbing this fuse. You'll actually be revisiting this fuse another, you know, a second time here later, but you'll use that to power this door so you can proceed up to the 3rd floor. And you'll actually end up meeting the antagonist of the game. If you haven't already gotten the impression of her earlier, you'll see this creepy little girl, and you're spending this whole game wondering who is she? What's going on here? So this is the videotape I was talking about earlier that you'll have to watch. You'll kind of learn a little bit of history, why you're here, what you were doing. I guess also a little background on this friendly little girl here.
And we're also going to meet probably RE7's most hated character in the game, Alan.
Oh yeah, everyone loves Alan. Kappa. This was actually one of Mia's coworkers here. They were both they were both tasked with guarding and escorting Evie, but as you guys learn here, she's kind of doing her own thing, so, and kind of out of control. So you'll see the series of events unfold here because of Evie.
And coming up is a skip that we do. It's I'm not 100% sure the name of it, but what you want to do is open the 2 doors after you go see the little vomit area that that Evie has done. And if you open those doors prior to it and you're able to get out of those doors quick enough, you can actually skip an entire scene where you're listening to Alan run his mouth.
Yeah, so you'll see Nick's here. He'll do the setup. You'll want to interact with that goop as far away as possible, and he got it. He got that first skip. We just call it the Alan 1 skip, or Alan 1 skip. That's what most folks call it. Benster 159 actually found that. We don't call it Benster skip, but he seems pretty okay with everyone calling it just Alan 1. But yeah, it's sometimes if you turn around too slow or anything of that nature, you can mess up and you'll have to go through that phone call. So Nyx was able to do that swiftly, so well done, well done.
Yep, Yasi correcting me there. Goes Alan 1, vomit skip, phone skip. She says it has a bunch of names, so I guess just call it whatever you will, as long as it works.
Vomit skip, all right. So you see Nyx here, he picked up a couple weapons from his item box here, and he menued so he can make room for an item that will be necessary for another skip coming up here. And this one, also has many names. Some folks will call it Alan 2, Double D skip, because Dust and Distortion found that. But yeah, you can call it whatever you want. So Nyx here picking up these bombs so he can prepare his setup for the next skip here. Killing that molded because he will kind of get in your way. There he goes. Sometimes he's stubborn. So what you'll want to do is place a bomb there. You'll need it for later, and you do not want to hit the reload or detonate key or anything of that nature, because then that bomb will detonate and null and void your skip that you're going to do there. So
Yep, actually I think Nyx might have done it just a little too far away. I'm not 100% sure, but if he times it right, he might be able to get it, just as Horror said in chat there.
Yeah, even if, I was going to say sometimes, like, I've gotten the setup wrong. If you don't get it exact, you can still kind of get it halfway. Like, sometimes if you fall over and it detonates and the door's open, you could still kind of get it at a decent spot. So let's see how he does.
Let's start getting some prayers in chat for Nyx for the skip here.
Get some bless RNGs for Nyx. And unfortunately he did not get it, but that's okay. The important thing is he got the first one, and still saved a little bit of time there. So all's good. And as we saw down below, Chase just started up his videotape and gets to see the beautiful Alan. So we shall see if he gets the phone call skipped.
And Nyx just barely squeaking by that molded right there. Normally we kill that molded, but he missed the shot and was able to get through no problem.
Now these two moldeds that fall down, you get one big arm molded and one regular molded. Sometimes as we're walking by, we'll want to headshot one of those moldeds, usually the smaller one. I saw he didn't get the headshot on that other one, so yeah. And if you don't get the I was gonna say if you don't get the headshots, they'll kind of creep here around the corner and say hello, but we kind of we headshot them before they can give us a hug. So now we can go upstairs without worry.
Die Notfallverriegelung wurde aktiviert.
So Chase here on his way to initiate that first phone call. Seems like he does not do the skip, which is okay. All's good, all's good. So yeah, you will have to sit.
Yep.
You will have to sit through this phone call to let Alan talk.
Yep. And if you pay attention to the tiny wristwatch, you'll see how much time exactly that skip saves.
So Nyx is on his way back up to that third floor. There will be no more enemies in his way. You saw that he got rid of a big arm molded that was blocking his path. During this part, you see him just kind of cycling through his items. There's nothing left here for you to do enemy-wise. Just a couple of cutscenes. You will see Alan here and play out this lovely little scene here.
Yep. And then coming up is one of the only. It's the only cutscene that actually influences in-game time that you get to skip.
Yeah, the other two that you can skip, they're actually right at the end, because they're cinematics. They're not just normal little cutscenes here. You could just tell because they're rendered a little differently and look more realistic. So you have two of those cutscenes at the end that you can skip, but that's already after the timer stopped. So like Gil said, this is the only cutscene you can skip that affects the time. Oh no, Alan!
Let's get some prayers for Alan in the chat. Let's hope he goes somewhere nice.
Now we saw Chase here setting up for his skip there.
Yep. The closer the bomb is to the door at a certain point, the better your chances are of getting that skip. And I think he's actually close enough to the door where he's going to initiate that skip.
Yeah, the placement seemed a little better. So let's hope he gets that. Now you saw Nyx walk by that laptop. That's actually the laptop where Mia recorded her one of her videos there that you see at the beginning. But as a speedrunner, you just kind of go right through it.
Yep.
You don't want to waste more time.
Don't even touch it. Yep, absolutely.
Now you'll see Nyx here press escape and skip that movie. So yeah, that's that one skippable cutscene in this game that you can skip. So nice, nice.
And Chase did get that bomb skip, it looks like.
Well done, Chase. And I don't know if you guys saw
man.
there. When you get that bomb skip and you open up the door a little bit early, you just see Evie slowly sliding away. So I always thought that part was humorous. So well done, Chase.
And here comes the item collection part of the game. Yeah. I don't know what to say right now. My mind just went completely blank.
You're good. As you see it, since Nyx is done with the videotape, you're now controlling present day Mia, and yeah, you're on your way to pick up a few items. So what happened here was that the elevator broke. So you'll have to go obtain a couple items here. You'll have to obtain a fuse and a power cable. Before you can do all that, though, you have to grab a lug wrench, and that's where Nyx is going now. He's going to this captain's cabin, rather. Picks up that lug wrench and is on his way out. There's actually a machine gun there in a locker that you have to get with a key, but like we did mention earlier during this part, as present-day Mia in the ship section, you will not use any weapons, no items whatsoever like that. All you'll be doing is just obtaining items to progress through this part. So yeah, once you get that lug wrench, you have to go and get a corrosive, so you can go get your power cable. So yeah, as Gil said, it's just all
Yep.
obtain items.
Yep, and this is the part we're coming up on called God Door. It's a very specific set of timings to pick up the corrosive and get out of the door before it closes. It's very rare to get, so we'll see if Nyx can get that.
Nyx was unable to get it, but that's okay. I was gonna say, I know I definitely don't get it on my runs. I wish I could. The timing, the thing you have to do with that, you have to open the door at the last possible second, and I think Nyx opened it up there just a little bit too early, but that's okay. I mean, when you're opening up doors here, when you're spamming that F key, or I guess for him, I guess for console, is it A to open up stuff?
Yes, yeah, it's A.
Yeah, so I know that's my thing, is I'm so used to just as soon as I see something, as soon as I see that little interaction, I just spam that button. So sometimes I forget, like, oh yeah, I should have gone for God Door. So it's all good.
Yeah, I've come very close several times, but it's even harder to do on console. I don't know why.
Yeah,
but
even
I've just been told, yeah.
I was gonna say, even Rossi here commented it's really hard on controller, so I can totally see that. So cool thing here that you saw Nyx do, when if you use that corrosive on the door with that molded there on the ground, if you use it right away, that molded will try to go up and attack you, but you can skip that whole taking damage thing. He'll still attack you, but you won't take damage. So that's
yeah, you just kind of slide through them and get to the door where you need to be.
I actually got jump scared last week because I confirmed with the corrosive and stuff, but it still attacked me, and so that was kind of a weird jump scare.
Oh yeah, I've had that happen to me before too, where I've activated the corrosive and he still hits you.
Now Chase here on his way out of the Mia videotape, which is really nice. That's actually, the videotape is, I would say, Mia in present day, just grabbing the items, takes a lot shorter than the whole videotape does. So it's nice for him to be done with the videotape. Nyx here completing his items. He got that power cable and fuse, so now he's on his way down to the basement.
Yep, down to the basement, save Ethan, get back to Ethan, and finish the game.
Oh, not before salt mines. Can't forget salt mines, man.
I try, but I guess we just can't.
So this molded up here, that this crawler can be a little stubborn here. If you block, sometimes you can get that molded to jump back. Thankfully, though, that crawler did not do damage to him, so that's now these little these two molded here, this big arm molded and the big boy molded, you can just kind of squeeze right by them, so you won't have to take damage from them, which is nice. Looks like Nyx is utilizing that 30 frame rate to just squeeze by them, so there you go. Don't have to juke around them at all.
Oh yeah, being able to change your frame rate in game makes this game like a lot more God mode.
So this is another retry. As soon as you get to Ethan here, you can kind of skip. You can save a little bit of time here if you do the retry. As soon as you retry, the cutscene starts immediately. So just another retry that you can do on PC here.
Yep, that's the only that's another one of the retries we don't do on console. The only other retry we do on console, other than the very first one inside guest house, the second one inside guest house after you pick up the axe, the third one we do is just after the EV jump scare in the salt mines, just before that gauntlet of molded that you have to go through.
This is actually one of my favorite cutscenes in this game because you learn that the Bakers and Jack, Jack, this guy who's been terrorizing you this whole time, he's actually a really kind-hearted guy. So I remember that tugged at my heartstrings during my first playthrough of this, and even the subsequent ones. So that's a nice little moment here.
We will just stay quiet and let you guys absorb all of everything that you see going on right now.
Feel feelings.
Also hat mir die Nachricht wegen Evelyn geschickt.
Hör zu. Das Mädchen will nur eine eigene Familie haben. Sie ist der Schlüssel. Okay? Du musst sie finden und aufhalten. Ethan. Befreie meine Familie. Bitte.
Nice. And we see Chase here about to go grab his power cable.
Warum? Liebt dich nicht. Ich kann ihn dazu bringen. Tu ihm nicht weh. Dummchen, ich hab doch gesagt, ich werde ihm nicht wehtun.
And avoiding damage from that big boy molded. So well done, Chase.
Du bist nicht meine Mami. Erinnerst du dich?
Yeah, the biggest issue I had with learning this speed run was avoiding all the damage from all the molded. It's probably the hardest part of the speed run is figuring out what the routing is as far as learning where these molded are going to be and how to avoid them.
What's nice though, and as what most of us have learned, is that a lot of the molded you can just kind of walk by, and you don't have to kill them all and stuff. There's a part here that Nyx will get to pretty soon, where you're on your way to enter the salt mines. There's a group of like 5 or 6 molded out there, and I used to always headshot at least one of them, but then I learned fairly recently you don't have to kill any of them. So yeah, there's a few molded that you should kill so they don't do damage to you, but like Gil said, once you learn the route and you figure out what the route is, you could see which ones you can walk by and which ones you don't. So that's always really cool.
Yeah, at this point, I still use the grenade launcher to take out molded in the back by the button, just in case.
So you see Nyx here going through a small swamp on his way to a tiny little cabin. And this is actually going to be one of the last times that you interact. This is actually, yeah, the last time that you interact with the item box. And you will actually pick up one of your other main weapons that you'll use here during the salt mines. You'll be picking up the grenade launcher. You can obtain it earlier. You can obtain it in the main house if you come back there. I think it's with the crow key. One of those keys. There's a room back there with weapons and stuff, and you can get the grenade launcher there. But if you wait till the end of the game, you can just get your free grenade launcher right there. So there you go. So Nyx grabbing all the necessary items he needs, pretty much every single weapon and that infinite ammo. I was gonna say you pretty much utilize every single weapon throughout here from here on out till the end of the game. Some folks have their own different mines for the salt mines, and actually seems like Nyx just went ahead and killed some of those molded there so they wouldn't give him problems. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said,
yeah. It's always better to be safe than sorry, especially in a speed run.
Oh, for sure, and even in a race. So sometimes it can be risky, and other times, it's okay to play it safe. So Nyx kind of menuing where he wants his particular weapons to be, because like I said, you'll be utilizing every single one of these, mainly those first 3 weapons, your Albert, G17, and your grenade launcher throughout the salt mines here. G17 mainly to get rid of those wire traps like he did here.
And then it's pretty much just, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say for that little crawler right there, some folks have their own different strats for it. Some folks will just use a neuro round straight to the head or just right near it. Other folks will just use an Albert straight to the head. Either way, whichever gets you through quicker, it's not wrong.
Yep, you just said exactly what I was going to say. So we got it.
Great. Great minds think alike. And on the topic of neuro rounds there, it's essentially Resident Evil 7's version of freeze rounds for the grenade. Because actually, that was interesting. That molded flew way back there. Haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, that's nothing. I've never seen that, so that was very interesting to watch.
But yeah, those Nora rounds are basically Resident Evil 7's version of freeze rounds, which anyone here can correct me if I'm wrong. We haven't seen freeze rounds since Resident Evil 3, which was they were very OP rounds. They were really good. It was basically the best ammo in the game. I'm sure. I was gonna say I think it made debuts, and it may have been in other games as well, but the last one that pops up in my head, at least for a main Resident Evil game, is that one. So you see Nyx here picking up that necrotoxin, so you can go ahead and use that to cure Evie. And coming up
Cure
on this
or
part,
kill?
both.
Maybe a little bit of both.
So yeah, this part here, as Nyx is wading through the mines here, this is actually the most important retry of the entire game, in my opinion, because this will boost your movement speed by a ton. So as soon as Evie pops up here and then goes away, you see that autosave, you go and retry, and then boom, you're automatically way, way faster. I know ZGL has a comparison video to see like how fast you are.
Yeah, I think it's actually like 50% faster. And then that one just went flying forward at Nyx and prevented him from moving forward. But yeah, I think it's actually about 50% faster.
And that was very interesting. And the one thing that can trip me up too, and I saw it, I think it happened to Nyx here. Once that movement speed increases, sometimes you can get caught. There's like a little corner there that you can get caught on sometimes. So yeah, looks like he's utilizing mainly his grenade launcher with Nora rounds here. And we'll just be using his Albert for this last molded here and utilizing that 30 frames. Nice. Then during this last part, there's going to be 2 big boy molded spawning here at the bottom. You'll just want to shoot 1 Neuro round there right between the 2 so they slow down and you can climb up that ladder with ease without them puking on you or anything. So smooth salt mines, Nyx. Well done.
Yeah, that was a very, very well done salt mines. Unfortunately, when he did switch to those 30 frames, though, he did get a double hit by that last mold that he walked through, but he was still able to make it through there pretty safely.
Yeah, sometimes those molded there, they can be kind of tricky, so he kind of was doing a little bit on the fly to get through there rather quickly.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you do swap frame rates, you do get to clip through molded, but they can also clip through you, which will allow them to do a lot more damage to you a lot quicker. Can even insta-kill you sometimes.
I love Flurp's comment here saying Nyx earned a new title, Mold Thrower. That's great.
It's like one of those meme like achievement earned above your head thingies that says Mold Thrower on it. You gotta make that and put it in a video somewhere for him.
So we're reaching the last stretch of the game here for Nyx. You end up back here in the guest house. You basically just relive a little bit from the beginning of the game here, few little bits that we went through. But you can see here that little girl, Evie, she was actually responsible for why Mia went so insane. So you're basically just reliving a few moments here, kind of piecing things together, being like, wow, it was her all along. So yeah, we're getting prepared here for the final boss fight. Chase making his way down through the mines, about to get to that, to the prime salt mines part.
Ich spiele nicht.
Nein! Schaff das weg von mir!
Coming up, we're going to see if Nyx can go ahead and hit that one cycle. There's a very, very specific way of doing it. What you need to do first is head straight towards Evie until she does the first blast back, and then you want to kind of head towards her at an angle to the right. Yep, there he goes. That's the one cycle. Nice.
Yeah, that will save you a ton of time. That way you don't have to block Evie multiple times. Most of the time we'll block her twice, but if you're able to get that one cycle, you just have to do that one block and that's it. So well done, Nyx. And spoilers, the little girl was actually the grandma the whole time, so yikes. Chase making his way to that salt mines part and to that prime retry part. So let's hope he gets a smooth salt mines as well.
Let's give these runners some love, people. Come on.
For sure, they're doing an awesome job tonight. So for this first part, this final boss fight for Nyx, it's actually 2 parts here. So the very beginning here, you just use your circular saw right there on Evie's face. Don't have to use any other weapons, just that saw. As soon as you do enough damage, she'll take you right outside the house here. And once you wake up, you'll realize that Evie has actually taken up the whole house, kind of like a kraken overtaking an entire ship. You cannot speed up this part, unfortunately. You just have to sit here, relax, enjoy the scenery, and you'll just have to wait till she does the scripted damage to you. See, Chase is having decent time through salt mines. Some of these molded kind of being mean, but he's able to get through. Nice job, Chase. So right here for Nyx, this is where, this is where Evie drags you up, and as soon as you're able to, as soon as you gain control, you just saw her arm and she drops you. You miraculously don't die. Ethan's, he's like a tank. Is he even human?
Yeah, he's a pretty sturdy fellow to be able to take all that.
Well done, Chase, getting through those salt mines. So, very last part here, Nyx is gonna pick up this specialized Albert. It's the same Albert you've had this whole game, but it actually has these little super bullets in them. So you're gonna want to shoot 4 to 5 rounds into her, and that's it. That's all she wrote. That will kill her. You want to be sure to shoot. Oh, go ahead.
I was to say, and the funny thing is you don't even have to aim at this part. You can just completely just keep clicking the mouse or pulling the trigger, and you'll hit them all.
Now, ideally, well, for sure, but you'll definitely want to make sure to hit her in the face. You don't want to hit her arms or anything like that. But yeah.
Oh yeah, no, like you don't even like when I do it. I don't even aim. I squeeze the trigger, and all 3 bullets go into her face.
Nice. And screen faded to black, and Nyx is done. GG's. Let's get some GG's all around for Nyx.
Well done, Nyx. Well done at 128.47.
That is awesome. Oh, did he PB as well? That is, if so, like that is fantastic.
I think that might be a PB, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to double check with him on that one.
Yeah. That is awesome, Nyx. Well done, well done. What a great run. Yasi did confirm that he PB'd, so that is fantastic.
Absolutely. Always good to get a PB. Always good. Great job, Nyx.
Ethan?
Mia. Du hast es geschafft.
And Chase on his way to the end of the game as well. Not too far behind. Not too far behind at all. So definitely well done to both of our runners here tonight.
Yeah, great jobs all around. Chase did very well. Nyx did very well as well.
Man sagt, wenn eine Tür sich schließt, öffnet sich eine andere. Letzte Nacht hat sich eine geschlossen. Und diese Nacht war lang. Aber nicht nur für mich. Nicht nur Mia und ich sind Opfer, sondern auch die Bakers. Es war dieses Ding, Evelyn, die sie so gemacht hat. Aber jetzt ist Evelyn tot. Und diese Leute sind hier, aufzuräumen.
Some folks commenting here on chat saying that they haven't seen this ending cutscene in so long, because usually most of us by this point, especially if we know we've had a good run, you'll just want to, because this is also one of those cutscenes that you can skip. We'll just immediately hit escape and to skip that, and so
oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I skip it all the time. I could care less about the cutscene.
Right. Or this.
But yeah, seeing it for the first time, well, not the first time, seeing it for, the multi-millionth time in a long time is always fun.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, and the whole ending cinematic here. looks like Chase is coming up here with a different strat, just using his G17 pistol for Eevee right here. And it looks like, you know, still did some decent damage, and now he's on his way out. I will say though, I haven't heard the ending song here in so long. I think that's one thing that I always skip.
Oh yeah, that's another one of those skippable cutscenes you can get just to see the ending, because that's what we most of the time that's what we'd want to do. Skip that skip those two skip those two scenes, if I can talk today, just so we can see what our time was at the end to kind of decide whether we have PB'd or not.
Chase here on the very last stretch here of the Eevee boss fight equipped his circular saw, so he will be prepared as soon as he takes control of it. There you go, the big drop. And yes, once that Albert comes down, we'll be able to kill Eevee ASAP.
All you gotta do is shoot her in the face.
Just nab those bullets right in there. There you go. And there she goes. That's it.
Well done, Chase. Great job, man.
Great job, Chase. And the timer will officially stop once Eevee crumbles, and the scene fades to black. So we'll get his official time here very, very shortly. Probably end around 1:35-ish. Still a good time. Any time. I was gonna say any sub 140 is always good. And there he goes at 1:35.11. GG's Chase. GG's to
Good
both
job,
runners.
everybody. That was really, really great race.
I was gonna
GG's
say,
to both players. Absolutely.
that was an absolute joy to watch. You know, everyone coming in with their different strats, but you know, it still works. You know, everything works for someone, and even it was impressive that Chase got that second bomb skip there on the ship. So that was really cool to see. And
Yep, and
also,
we are confirming that he PB'd as well. So congratulations, Chase, on your new
awesome,
PB.
both PBs. I was actually just about to comment on that, saying how Nyx got a PB in this race, but Chase also getting that PB. So awesome. That is great.
Nyx in chat saying fun
Yeah.
race.
I was
GG,
gonna
Nyx.
say.
Great job, man. You
GG's,
too,
Nyx.
Chase. Absolutely phenomenal race, you guys. Great job.
Yeah. You guys both did an excellent job. Well done, well done. It was amazing. Definitely awesome to commentate, and even more fun to watch, and also with all these lovely folks in here. So thank you to all of you who are sitting here spamming some love and hype in chat. You guys have been fantastic. And be sure to show some love to
Absolutely.
both Nyx and Chase. Give them some GGs, some claps and hyper claps and hugs, love, whatever suits your fancy.
Yep. So Chase's actual in-game time was 1:33.54, and Nyx's was 1:28.46. So great job, you guys. Amazing run.
I was gonna say, if any of them want to interview, I was gonna say Yasi, if either Nyx or Chase wanted to interview, I'm down. Feel free.
Absolutely. Send them in.
Is that Nyx and is that Chase?
All right, we are in here.
What's up?
Cool.
So, I was gonna say, actually, I haven't listened to an interview at the end of these things before. So, I guess how it usually goes, you talk to one
Yeah,
and then you
neither
talk
have
to
I.
another.
So this is gonna be fun. Figure this out. We'll figure it out as we go.
All right.
Let's have
So,
some fun with it.
I was gonna say, so Nix, what are your thoughts and feelings about that race? You did a wonderful job. I was gonna say, any immediate comments that
I
you
would
have,
say,
or
like, I had a great run overall. The only problem I had was
Alright.
Marguerite.
He's
dude.
speechless, people. He's speechless.
Wait, can you guys hear me or no?
yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wait.
I think I would assume if I could hear you, then everyone else can hear you.
Shadow. Okay.
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I had a great run overall, except for Marguerite too. I had a little trouble killing her as fast as
Yeah,
possible.
no, I'm not hearing anybody. Huh?
It's because you're deafened.
Here, let me see. Why is that happening?
Yeah, I'm pushing wrong buttons. That was my fault. That was my
Oh,
fault.
okay, cool.
Sorry about that.
No
Anyways,
problems.
so yeah, I saw your March too. That she got up on the ceiling for you, but you were
Yeah,
still
she
able to
did.
recover a little bit quickly for that. So I would still say that was well done. But I understand as runners, we are definitely our harshest critics, especially when we're able to get the one cycle immediately. So I was gonna say, it seemed like it still went pretty well for you the rest of the run there.
Yeah, overall it was a great run. Just a little bit of a problem with Marguerite. Yeah, that's about it. I did mess up on the salt mines a little bit too. The molded wasn't letting me pass through, so I had to go to 30 FPS to get through. Yeah, it was kind of troublesome. But other than that, it was good.
And we did notice that the second bomb skip as well. But that's okay because I was gonna say definitely great movements, and especially for your bosses, they were pretty great. I was gonna say I still thought your Marguerite was great, but overall very solid run. Even the one cycle on Eevee, which was really cool.
Yeah, I was a little terrified on that one cycle. I'm glad I made it through.
I was gonna say I feel like most
Oh,
of
yeah,
us.
it terrifies me too. Every time I hit it, I take that damage. I'm like, did I fall down? Did I get her? Did I fall down?
Or
It's
it's like-
nerve-wracking.
Or it's like, am I going the right way? Like, am I gonna hit it? That sort of thing. So yeah, I feel like that's one of those things. No matter how many times we do it, actually doing it in a run, especially if it's a PB run, it's always, and because it's right at the end of the game, it's definitely a Monka's moment. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy you were able to hit it there.
Thank you.
And just overall, it was a great run to watch. So GG's Nix, well done.
Appreciate that.
I was gonna say, for Chase, hello Chase.
Hi.
I was going to say your overall thoughts and impressions of the run still very impressive. Well done there. I was going to say your first impressions, comments.
At the beginning of the run, I was getting a little angry at myself because I died, to Mia at the beginning, which was extremely upsetting.
That's totally okay.
Yeah. Other than that,
yeah, I was.
When I saw that happen, because I was watching the broadcast too, I saw it happen. I was so devastated, man.
yeah.
Oh, I can just imagine the feeling. But nonetheless, you PB'd, so very much congrats to you, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Like I was telling Nix earlier with the with that one cycle, as many times as we do the Mia 2 boss fight, because I feel like that's one that a lot of us tend to practice a lot. Even me in runs, like actually going for it, like as soon as you take like any one bit of damage from her, it just it can throw you off a little bit. So seeing you go through that, Chase, I definitely sympathize with you, and I was right there with you because I'm like, oh man, I know exactly how this feels. But still a lot of other highlights in your run. You were able to get the second bomb skip, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Really happy you were able to get that.
I think that was my first time doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, nice.
That is awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say overall, really nice job from both of you guys. Definitely a pleasure to watch you both and commentate for you guys.
Thank you for the commentary. I got to rewatch that and listen to every single word you guys said. I must
probably
see
will
it.
Yeah, if you guys want to. But yeah, you guys were great. I wasn't sure, how do you guys usually end these things? Actually, Nix, you did commentary recently.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're done with the commentary, then that's about it.
All right.
Yeah, it should be over by now. So
All right.
GG's everybody.
Yeah.
GG.
I was going to say, so thank you to both Nix and Chase for your wonderful runs. It was really great, really amazing, and awesome job PBing for both of you. Like that's like really cool to get in a race. So and in front of our lovely community here. So yes, thank you. Thank you. I know Gil. So one thing that kept happening here, if Shadow Gil, if he's muted for too long, he'll get kicked out or something. So I know he's still chilling in here. So thank you to Shadow Gil for being a great commentary partner. Shout outs to Yasi. I know she put this all together. That is amazing. Shout outs to our mods, all of our RE7 mods and speedrun mods for being wonderful humans. And for everyone watching tonight and all you guys, thank you so much for hanging out, taking a little time out of your day to watch. And yeah, you guys are amazing and fantastic. Much love to every single one of you.
I have one last thing to say. The next race is by Mar. Mar will be competing in that race, so you guys definitely want to check that run out as well. I believe it's the 10th, correct?
Yeah, it is on Wednesday the 10th.
All right, so I'll be there watching as well. So see you guys there.
All right, you guys take care. Have a great night, and thanks for watching. You guys are amazing. Great. Have a good one, guys.
See ya.
Bye.